So guys, welcome to the end of another week. As you've seen my previous video, last week was a very terrible week for me. I was down 9.5% on my 5k challenge account with Hollow Prime, but I was left with, meaning this week I was left with one trade to blow the account, but we managed to secure another 5%. So now the account is up 6% and we are now 4% in drawdown, and that's very good. I could have maybe, if not back to break even, 1% or 2% down, not 4% again. But I'll take you to the chart. I'll show you what I'm talking about. But I just want to say this week was a great week. It was almost like 3 wins in a row. I don't take more than three trades in a week, and this week was almost like 3 wins in a row. But I caused some, and I didn't play. I'm not going to say I didn't play smart on a certain setup, but I didn't actually see what the setup was telling me. I later, though it went in my favor about 1:1.5 there about before it reversed, then I realized that now this reversal is going to stop me out, and I got out of the trade with a half loss of what I was risking, and I jumped in again and I lost again. I wasn't supposed to get in. That's another lesson that I learned this week. Once I take my trade and I'm out of the trade, there's no way of me getting back into the trade unless the next day. So this week I took 3 trades, 2 wins, 1 smash 1:4. That's exactly what I wanted, and the other one that should have smashed 1:3, I closed it at 1:2. I closed it at 1:2 because it was the market close, and my previous experience on this same challenge, when I held the trade through market close, it didn't go on well. So when market was about to close, I decided to close the trade, and I closed it at 1:2. And mind you, I was now risking $50 per trade because I was left with 1% to blow the account. So it was not $50 that I was risking. So the first trade 1:2, which should have been a 1:3 because I entered late. And the reason why I entered late was just because of I just entered late, and it was another trade with my kind of setup that I normally add to. It's not all setups that I just enter and I start adding position. No, I see something before I add to, and mostly it's going to play out. Most of the time it will play out. Once I see that and I add to, it's going to play out. I look. Once I enter with my normal stop and my normal stop loss, maybe 10 pips on my first trade, if I'm going to add to, then my next stop loss, my next position that I'm going to add, where the stop loss is, that is where the first previous stop loss is also going to be. So I'll basically divide my first risk into 2 and risk it on the second setup with my stop loss, whether my stop loss will be at where the second position stop loss is going to be. It might be that where the second position stop loss is going to be, my first trade, that will be break even. Fine, I'll just put it there. If my first position was going to be at break even, that's where my second position stop loss is going to be. Then I'll just push it to break even, and I'll risk my first total risk again on the next trade. I don't know whether you are getting me. If you're not getting me, type it in the comment. I'll make another video on how I add to position. That's the best way to add. If you lose both trades, you are still going to lose your normal risk that you are risking. If you are risking 1%, you're going to lose 1%. But assuming you risk 1% on the first trade, then it gave you what I normally look out for before I take my second trade. And with that one, if I'm going to enter, my stop loss is going to be at where I entered my first trade. That's like break even level of my first trade. So what I'll do is I'll just pull my first trade back to break even, because that's where my other stop loss is going to be. It means it's secured. That's why I said I don't add to position all the time. It's take once in a while, and mostly it normally play out. So I'll just pull it to break even, then I'll just risk the same 1% on the next trade. Already the other one is not break even. I'll risk it on the next 1%, the next trade I'm about to add, and that's it. If they all play out, I'm going for 1:3. I'll be making 3% here, 3% here. And the second trade might also have a tight stop loss. So before it will reach where my first trade TP is, it might even be more than the 1:3 RR. So that's just, I see like this is one of the best way to add. It's not all setups that you might add to. There are certain setups that you should know that and you should master them, that once you see them you add to. So I was supposed to add to this first trade, but I didn't add to. I entered late and I didn't add to again, and I ended up taking 1:2 instead of 1:3. It was fine. We were now up. At that point, my aim was to what? Like protect my account balance. My aim was to like maintain the account balance, because if I was going to hold it throughout the market close, the spike, I don't know, whatever is going to slippage, if it stops me out, then I'm back to 1% again, and my next trade could be a loss and I'll blow the account. So me just closing at 1:2, securing 2% plus the $50, making it 3%, meaning I'm left with 3 trades to blow the account. That's better. So that's what I did. Then my next trade came, then I took it. It's a loss. Then the next trade 1:4. So I want to say this week was a great week, and let's see how well we can maintain this and pull back to break even and pass this challenge. But I just have this feeling that I'm going to pass the challenge. There's no stress, there's no whatever. I just know that I'm going to pass the challenge, and even if I fail, it's fine. Even if I fail, it's fine. But the lesson that I'm learning from all these, since I bought this challenge, all the trades I've been taking, is just lessons that I just feel like I'm not far from that. I'm not far from that. I'm not far from the end. I just feel like I'm not far from the end. So let's see whether we can be able to grow this account back to break even, and hopefully we pass phase 1. So let me take you to the chart. Let me show you the trades that we took, and as usual, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Comment your thoughts in the comment section. How was your week? And I reply to you all. So guys, without wasting much of your time, let's get into the chart. Let me break down the trades that I took. So guys, this is my Notion template right now, and let me show you the trades I took for this week. I'll go to my journal. I have where I journal them and where I keep screenshots. So 1, 2, 3 was my this week setups, and as you can see, I was down 7 losses in a row. Down 7 losses in a row. So let me just show you here. Here I just put my emotions before, my emotions after, then my entry time frame, the profit I made, the position, the session, and the setup type. Then I have where I now journal, log screenshots there. So this was the trade. My first trade was a win, which I said it was supposed to be a 1:3, but I entered too late. Then I had to close it at 1:2. I was risking $50. My second trade too was supposed to be a win, but I didn't get the bias correct, or I didn't pay attention to what I was looking at, and it went in my favor about 1:1.5. A reverse stopped me out at half my loss, and I entered again, which I said I'm not supposed to do. But I re-entered and I lost, and I even lost more than what I was supposed to risk on that day. And my next trade was $200, the 1:4 clean setup. Let me take you to where I log screenshots and show you the trades. So I log them here, my weekly. We're in the 3rd quarter, which is July. We're in the 3rd week of July. So that was the first trade on UJ. This week too, I took only, all the setup was on UJ. I didn't trade gold. Not like there were no setup, but all of them just came on. There were setups on gold that played out, which I did my analysis, but it wasn't based on my strategy, but it played out. So I didn't take it. So this was the first trade. This was what I was looking out for. As you can see, this is what I was looking out for. In price to drop, shift structure, then we buy, and it did the same. As you can see, it dropped. It gave us an inverse head and shoulder. This is the left head, this is the left shoulder, the head here, this is the right shoulder. So I was supposed to enter around here with my stop loss below here, and as price went, pulled back, immediately it break out of this line, I'll add another position. So my second position, I would have entered here, then I would have dragged my first stop loss to this stop loss here. My second position stop loss will be here. If I drag my first stop loss to this place, and I see that at first I was risking 10 pips, and I can see that as I drag it to here, it's now like 5 pips, meaning my next trade is going to be 5 pips stop loss. So I just risk half of what I risked first, meaning if the other one should pull back to this level, I'll be losing half of what I'm risking, and if the second one to stop me, I'll be losing half. So all in all, I will still be losing the same exact amount per trade. So but I entered too late somewhere around here with my stop loss here. I couldn't add to the trade, and it played out. As you can see, market closed, and I didn't like what price was doing. Price was creating resistance level here, so I just got out of trade and it reversed back to my break even, my stop loss thereabout. So this was the first trade, and it was a beautiful one. We learned our lesson too. So my lesson and improvement, this trade was a whole was hey, what did I put here? This trade as a whole was a good setup, but I entered late, which made me not hit full TP but close at 1:2 RR. All in all, the setup was well planned, and we keep moving and correcting our mistakes. So this is what my lesson, and this is what I'm going to improve. This is basically what I saw about this whole setup. And this was my next trade, which was a loss on 15th. So the first trade was on 13th. That was Monday. Tuesday there was no setup. Wednesday, which is 15th, my second trade, as you can see. So I didn't pay much attention. This move here on the 1 hour was higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and this is our 4 hour high. So price was going, if I was to join this trade, I was supposed to join it on the lower time frame with my stop loss around here, so that I'm just going to join to go sweep that 4 hour high liquidity. If price will push to the upside small, to push, because eventually there will be a correction, but I don't know when the correction is going to take place. So I should have this trade was for me to just get in early, join the indication that is going to break this 1 hour indication correction, the next indication that is going to break out of this 4 hour high. My aim was to target that indication, then I'm out, because I don't know when the correction is going to take place. But I just entered relaxed with my stop loss above the TP above, knowing that price might not reach there and start to reverse, and it happened. Price didn't reach there, then it started reversing. Let me show you. As you can see, the trade was moving very well, clean, but price was exhausted. So if I had entered early, I would have hit TP around here, 1:3, I'm done. But where TP is, price didn't reach there, it reversed. So as you can see, now this was, if I entered early, this was where I would have hit TP and I would have been done for the day. But because I didn't enter early, price reversed and stopped me out at half my risk. I entered again, it stopped me out, and I lost. So let's read what I wrote here. Today was supposed to be a winning day, yes, but it turned into a loss for a lesson I learned. Yes, the lesson I learned was me seeing the structure, and next time that kind of structure, I'm going to kill it. It's not a lie, I'm going to kill that kind of structure. I knew I was joining the trade to make an indication, yes, like I said. So definitely there was going to be a retracement, so which means my aim was to get in quick for the indication, cause no one knows when the retracement is going to take place or it's going to happen. Perfect. This was what happened for my second trade. Let's move on to the next trade, which was on the 16th, on the 3rd Thursday, and this was my last trade. Oh, I didn't keep screenshot of before and after. Sorry guys, but I didn't know that I didn't keep it back. This trade was just based on structure. I look out for my daily. My daily was bullish, my 4 hour was bullish, my 1 hour too. Let me show you. My 1 hour too gave me here an indication. Then this correction consolidated the whole Asian session till New York open. New York open, we got that spike, sweep 1 hour liquidity. It didn't break with a body, so this was a 1 hour low. Price sweep it with and close above it. It was a weak. It gave us a double bottom here, break out of the neckline, pull back, break out. It was just a perfect trade. I just took the trade and I just continued playing out, and just started smashing. So I was able to go above what I normally go for, 1:3, and I ended up making $200 on this trade, which was a beautiful one. And this is the whole thing that happened for this week. This week was very great, and this week was so great, and I can't say this or that. Regardless, let's see how next week goes, whether we'll be able to pass this account. But I just know that I'm going to pass this account. I'm going to pass this account. So let's see how next week goes, and I'll keep you updated. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I'm getting a call on this phone. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment your thoughts in the video in the comment section.